Are millions and millions of Americans about to receive a $5,000 DOGE dividend check, aka stimulus? Well, we're going to answer that in today's video because based off what we're seeing, we have some very clear answers and we know the intentions of the Trump administration. Today we're going to break this down, explain what is going on, how close we are to potentially getting a DOGE dividend check, and what that check size may actually be. So, make sure you stick around and watch this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on and what you should expect moving forward. But first, before I do, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So the DOGE dividend check, potentially $5,000 per household. That's what a lot of people are asking. And frankly, more and more people want to know about the DOGE dividend check than tax cuts, than tax refunds, than stimulus. Yeah, more people want to know, is the DOGE dividend check coming? Well, this is going across the internet. Look at this. It said, should Americans expect a $5,000 DOGE stimulus check? That article came out just 4 days ago. Now, I want to show you something. Be very clear. Your DOGE check is not in the mail. It says the Department of Government Efficiency is probably not going to send you a dividend. Okay, that's from MSNBC. Now, is that true? The answer is yes and no. Is DOGE going to send you a check? No. Could they contribute to savings that could, actually turn into a potential dividend? Yes. Is it highly likely at this point? Unfortunately, no. And here's the reason why. This is DOGE's website. This is the Department of Government Efficiency. You can see it right there. As of May 11th, so just 3 days ago, the Department of Government Efficiency has saved $170 billion. That's a substantial savings, but it's far off of their $2 trillion goal, which then they went back and revised to $1 trillion. DOGE does not have the savings to send out money. Keep in mind, DOGE isn't making money, they're saving money, which means if you save, let's put it into just simple terms. Let's say you have, your budget for your household. Let's say you spend $2,500 a month. That's your rent or your mortgage, gas, food, Netflix, everything, right? $2,500 a month. Okay. You're able to save, let's say, $100 a month. Okay, so now you only spend $2,400. What DOGE was pretty much saying they were like to do is send 20% of that to the American people. So let's just say this. You were originally paying $2,500, you're now saving $100 a month. So what if you decided, okay, whatever I save as a household, I'm going to give my kids 20%. So let's say your two kids are now sitting there thinking, oh, you know what? We're about to get our share of $20. Yeah, $10 each, because that's what you just saved. So essentially, you're still paying. So the reason why I bring that up is because there's many Republicans in the House and the Senate that don't agree that if we're saving this money, shouldn't we use it to pay down our debt, if anything? But again, we're not making money, we're saving it. So how can we justify taking 20% of our savings and giving it to the American people? They say we can't. Now, look at this. This right here is the amount of money saved per taxpayer. This is not the amount of money DOGE was expecting to send out to the American people. That is 100% of savings to 161 million individuals. That's not going out. Okay? Now, I want to do a little bit of math here. Okay? And let's we can do this together. Look at this right here. Here's my calculator. Okay? So we know we saved $170 billion. Okay. Let's take 170. Let's take 170. And let's get 20%. That's $34 billion. Okay, that's how much money they would project to go out to the American people. $34 billion. That's a substantial amount of money. Now, why am I showing you that? Well, it's because of this. What's in President Trump's one big, beautiful bill? Okay, it says trillions in tax cuts, changes to Medicaid, and more. Now, what's not included in this one big, beautiful bill is anything for DOGE. There's not a line item in there for these DOGE dividend checks. It's not even something that they're considering in the future. That's the problem. Back when we saw potential changes under the Biden administration, potential changes to the student loan debt, and if there was going to be forgiveness, you know what the Biden administration did? Before they even passed something about forgiveness or attempted to, they passed a bill or provision that said if there's any forgiveness, it's not taxed as ordinary income. They did that before they ever did the bill for forgiveness. The Trump administration has done nothing for the DOGE dividend check, meaning it's probably not coming. Again, right here. This is all they're saving right here. Okay? They've only saved $170 billion. It's just not enough. So, what does this mean moving forward? Well, should you expect a DOGE dividend check? No. Here's what you should expect. Let me just show you really quick. This is what is inside their bill. Tax cuts for individuals and businesses. Okay? It says right here, the tax portion of the GOP legislation contains more than $5 trillion in tax cuts. We also know, okay, I'll show you right here, Republicans partially offset the tax breaks by rolling back the clean energy tax credits passed during Joe Biden's presidency, such as a $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles, bringing the overall cost of the tax cuts down to about $3.7 trillion. There's also stuff in here for businesses, for children. There's a boost to the child tax credit. It goes from $1,000 to permanently making it $2,000, and for the next 4 years, it would actually be $2,500 per child. That's pretty substantial there. There's also, you can see it right here. Okay, package includes up to $10,000. It's a temporary deduction for car loan interest. There's also for seniors, there's a $4,000 enhanced deduction to your standard deduction for people that make single filers that make up to $75,000 and couples that make up to $150,000. They're also going to put the states in charge of the food assistance or SNAP benefits or EBT, whatever you want to call it. That right there is going to save the federal government some money. Here's another way they're planning on saving money. There's new work requirements for Medicaid. And this is part of the other thing. It says the centerpiece of the package is more than $900 billion in reduced spending, most of that coming through the Medicaid program. I know a lot of people are saying they're making cuts to Medicaid. Yeah, technically they are, but at the same time, this is a work requirement. And this is something that the Republican Party has been adamant about for quite some time. Here's the other thing you need to know, though. There's work requirements for many things. Also inside this bill, everything requires a social security number, not an ITIN. That is a big difference from the Democratic bills over previous years, is everything was really open. Now it's only for people that have a social security number. That is it. Okay? So again, going back to the work requirements for Medicaid, there were talks if we do dole out a DOGE dividend check, there would be a work requirement included in that. So that's going to pretty much eliminate millions of people that are not eligible for this DOGE dividend. They're also saying that there was potentially income limitations, which you have to make over a certain income limit or amount just to be able to get the check. And then you couldn't make too much or else you don't get the check there either. So again, more eliminations. So all I can tell you right now is this DOGE dividend check, it was a good idea, but it was just the idea. As far as the planning and how it's paid for and everything else, again, it would have to pass through Congress. There's just not enough votes at this time. Could it still happen? Yes. Would DOGE need to go out and save a lot more money? Yes. Millions of people were upset that Doge was cutting thousands and thousands of government jobs. They've only saved $170 billion. Okay? They're, what is that, like 8% of the way, 10% of the way, less than 10% of the way to their original goal. They're 17% there for their new goal of $1 trillion. But again, that means we have more cuts to make. We have more layoffs to make. That could hurt millions of people. So I don't think the Doge dividend check is coming. But again, if we get new updates on this, I will bring you those updates as soon as possible. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.